Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CRD podcast. This is episode 17. We're back, finally, and we're back on full activity. We're going to be posting, I don't know, about once every 2 weeks or so, preferably once a week, but we'll definitely have one every other week. I'm hungry, and I am joined here with my co-host Syspiron,
Hello, everybody.
Yannis,
Hi.
and once again Slinderman.
What's up?
Isn't here too, but she's being nerd and isn't going to unmute because she's nerd. But yeah, she left. So, how you guys been? It's been a while since the last podcast.
Oh, I've been pretty good.
No comments, Thunder? Okay. So, a lot of things have happened in TR since our last podcast. I've been away. I've been on inactivity for a while. I know some of you guys have been too. Quite a few things have changed. One of the biggest ones, I think, would be the new gun system. So, for those of you guys listening to this that don't know what I'm talking about, our developer, Somewhat Unknown, came out with this brand new gun system that he's still implementing and that he's been working on for, I don't know, how long do you think, Sis? Like 6 months, 9 months? No?
Well, I've been helping him test this gun system ever since he first started developing it, and I have to say it's been roughly about half a year. About that time.
Nice.
And it's been through several stages. The first time it was similar. He started out with raycasts, but then kind of shifted into the projectiles as he went on.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's cool.
This is one thing that I've heard a lot of complaints about, and I kind of wanted to touch on too. Okay, so raycasts versus like projectiles. I know, for example, a lot of what's it called? A lot of people that do combat, like that scrim and do combat on Roblox, don't like projectiles for the sole fact that it adds lag, and it's just unconventional, I guess. What do you guys think?
I don't really care, to be honest.
At first for me at least, it was a bit of a difficult adjustment because you do notice differences. Like, it's right off the bat, you notice that your shots actually take some time to travel to your target. It's not instant. You actually have to kind of, and your shots like do drop a bit at a distance, and you have to account for that.
That's nice though. It makes it more realistic.
Yeah.
Thunder, what do you think?
Yeah, I haven't tried it out yet. So.
Yeah, you have. Do you not remember the demo place we all went into? Basically, just like killed the crap out of each other for, I don't know, like a good 35 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think I was there.
You weren't there for that, dang. Okay. Well, yeah. My opinion. So at first, like you says, I was kind of like iffy on the whole like projectile instead of raycast because I was really looking forward to it. But I feel like we've been on that system for so long; it's kind of nice to have a change. I feel like the bullet drop's gonna be cool. You could do a lot of cool things with that, especially with like IS sniper and all the like the shotguns. Imagine what you could do with the shotguns, bro. I think it's overall a nice add-on. It's gonna be an upgrade. It's definitely gonna be an upgrade, and I like the fact that that's gonna allow grenades and rocket launchers and all that other nice stuff to be added to the game in the future. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be more roleplay based, and it's gonna make the game more roleplay like, I'd say, less more clannier like, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, and I wanna touch on how the city's gone on from what it used to be in DTRP, where it was more of a TDM sort of just constant combat and everything. This city, especially with the new gun system now, it's a whole different field. Like, in terms of, for instance, with the raycast, there was a big problem with invisible walls and shots getting caught on them. These projectiles completely ignore that, and they go through those invisible walls, and you can hit people in ways that you couldn't before.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love it. It's
it also
amazing.
removes the whole issue that we used to have with like invisible blocks for teaming people and all that. That basically completely gets rid of that issue, because then now we can completely customize it to what we need it to be.
Oh, and I must say, one of my favorite things about the new gun system is the fact that you can customize not only your cursor, but your hit marker as well as your hit sound.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait to see what
I'm looking forward to all the memes who are going to use.
I can't wait to see what people come up with. Personally, My favorite is I have this picture. It's like a picture of like a really scrunched Danny DeVito, and then like I have this like fart sound every time somebody gets hit. So every time somebody gets hit, I see Danny DeVito and I hear a fart.
Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean it.
What's your
At least he
favorite?
knows.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Okay. What's your favorite gun of the new gun system? Because I know, so that testing game that somewhat brought out, we were able to test out some of the new weapons. Obviously, it was still in like beta alpha, like it wasn't pre-release. It wasn't ready yet. But since you've been basically one of the main testers, we wanted to get somewhat on this podcast, but it's too late for him and he's tired. But yes, that's what's your favorite gun with the new gun system implemented?
Well, out of the ones that I've used, my favorite's probably the zone shotgun.
Oh yeah,
It's one of my favorite weapons to use.
why?
And
I'm actually curious why.
well, one of the main reasons now is the sound it makes. It sounds awesome, and the fact that it actually has a reloading animation, and that you have to pump the shotgun to
Mhm.
actually shoot once you've wasted all your ammo. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I also do love using the Galil now. But I mean, I did before, but now it's just like I said, this gun system changes a whole lot for the game, and I love it.
Well, I mean, the thing is too, it's not only just changing it to projectiles. It's also, like I said, it allows us to use grenades like properly without creating an immense amount of lag.
Right.
We'll be able to have
And
rocket launchers if we ever want those. Anything like basically any gun now we can use.
well, and if I may say, grenades and rocket launchers are already available for use on Somewhat's testing game.
Yep.
So
They
it's
feel
it's
awesome.
not it's not gonna be that hard to bring them over
Yeah, no,
because
for sure.
he's already got all the scripts and everything figured out.
Yeah. And I mean, on top of that too, it's like you said, it's a reload animations, the shooting animations, even like between bullets. I know one of the shotguns that he had tested on, literally between it was a bump shotgun. Between every shot, you repumped the shotgun, like you cocked it back so you could shoot it again. It's just like little details like that. Or I remember, I think wasn't there something where you could like view the weapon? I don't know. It was just little details like that are really what makes it so special and unique, I guess. And like the amount of time he spent into it too.
Right. He's been working, like you said before, months on this project. He's been putting aside starting grid backup to make this gun system for the city. And something else actually that also was put in is divisions, like for instance, like IS is going to notice that their snipers now have a scope that they can use.
Yeah,
Like I think hitmen have it too with their pulse.
that's what I was about to
And
add. Yeah, I'm looking
yeah.
forward to that. What do you think that with the new gun system, like maybe first person mode would be implemented to make it a little bit more like roleplay based, seeing as TR is technically a roleplay game.
Well, I don't know about a whole first person thing. I mean, I get that the city's supposed to be more roleplay based now, but at the same time, there should still be an element of, I guess, old combat because it still helps people that used to play in the old DTRP quite a lot to
Mhm.
keep playing how they used to. But for those who do play in first person, they'll notice the fact that the gun does move around with your camera,
Yeah,
so that it's not situated in one spot the whole
which
time.
is awesome too. That's another perk of having it, and like I kind of mentioned, like it is if it did ever need to be made into first person only, or just add the first person features onto it, that's totally doable as a new gun system.
Oh, you could absolutely.
Yeah. Now, okay, so we've kind of covered that. I want to go more on to changes in City 17. So, was the previous City 17 major update that we had? It's been a while now, but it's kind of why I want to bring it up because I think we've all had the chance to play it. The new morph system, the new what's it called? The new inventory system. What do you guys think of that? Especially the new inventory system because that's something that's been promised to us for a really long time, and they finally delivered. What do you think?
I can't tell you
Um,
how much of a
I'd say
relief
it's
that
pretty
was.
good.
Yeah,
I,
Yeah.
honestly, I really like it. I think I'd call it a bit more user friendly now.
oh yeah,
And for example, how uh, every time you respawn, you don't need to uh, resituate your guns and weapons every single time.
Yeah. I like the fact too that it doesn't allow you to use the weapons out of morph. There are like downsides to that. Obviously, if you're like in your if you're in multiple divisions and you're allowed to use them out of morph, then that kind of sucks. But like, at least for zone, coming from my end, it also means I've not had a single issue with people using guns out of morph when they're not supposed to, which is nice.
Yeah,
Say the whole
it just relieves that much more stress on division HRs, SRs, and leaders to do with the codex and enforcing it with that one rule.
Yeah. This you're saying?
Well, the whole for me at least, the whole inventory system with saving where your tools are positioned is like it's a miracle.
God
Because
yeah.
excuse me. When back in DTRP, I used to be on there a lot, fighting riots all the time. And one thing that I absolutely hated was having to situate my tools over and over again. And mind
Every
you,
single time.
I was an SR in grid at the time, so I had a lot of tools, and it became so bad that it went to the point where I was only moving like 4 or 5 tools, and then I'd just go back out.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be bothered moving anything else.
I mean, we were promised that for what, like 3 years at that point, and at this point, and now we finally have it. I mean, it's just a relief for everyone. So if you used to play Downtown RP and you just listen to the podcast now, which I doubt, but if you do and you were looking forward to that, we have it now. It's really cool. And yeah, I don't know. I'm happy they didn't do the morph selector like they were planning on doing originally. Do you remember that, Sis?
Oh my god! When I saw the news for that, I was, I was honestly furious. Like,
Yeah.
it looked like it would let people who weren't even in divisions have access to morphs that they shouldn't have.
Well, originally it did because they did a test run of it and it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. So technically yes, but also no. I don't know. I'm happy with the way it turned out, and I think somewhat's been like one of the best devs, if not the best dev we've had in a very, very long time. Better than some of the even teams that we had. He gets everything done when it needs to be done and the way it's supposed to be done.
Well, something I do want to say about Somewhat, he's been I've known him for years at this point, and before he even became a dev, when he made Hunger, do you remember the grid training facility that he first started working on way back then?
Oh yeah.
It was the first version was so simple and it was pretty rudimentary, but then Somewhat started actually learning how to code and how to script and how to build, and eventually he made it into something that I loved to host on more than Future Tops.
Yeah, I remember. Do you still have that? Because I haven't seen that
Um,
since I was in it back when you led ground control.
I believe we did. I believe we did use that because I was in grid until near the shutdown, and until the day I was there, at least I remember we used it a lot.
As far as I know, the game is still up, but it's not used, of course, for obvious reasons. Actually, though, although I shouldn't say it's not used because it is, but it's not used by us. It's used by other groups who actually like how the training facility works. Because Somewhat has said that he's noticed a lot of other groups using it, not TR.
It's quite awesome when you think about it that way. Like, he put all that work in, and it's not even the people that he put the work in for that are using it. Completely different.
Yeah. Although, I will admit we've seen some questionable things go on in there.
Hey, it was made by someone, and we had a bunch of how do I say this? A bunch of people that I'm not going to name had access to it, which made it yeah.
I've been thinking about how the gun system is gonna affect the clanning community in general within TR. Like, since we have some clanners and all of that.
I personally don't know how Deathwatch has or will adjust to it if they ever do use it at all.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they prefer the old system, which I don't really blame them. There are advantages to it, but I personally like the new system, like I said.
To be 100% honest, not trying to offend anyone, I'm not exactly sure. Like, I don't see how Deathwatch reopened to begin with at the moment.
Well,
It is what it is.
Deathwatch does have its purpose, and that's
It's
for war.
yeah, it's a mixture of us trying to get more active, I think, as a group, and just trying to figure out different ways to do so and the different people that we want to bring back. Deathwatch, I don't think was supposed to shut down in the first place, but it ended up doing so. Which I mean, I get it. It wasn't really used at that point, but I'm happy it's back because I do miss a lot of those old people. As toxic as some of them are, I still do miss them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to where TR is going. I think it's heading in the right place, and happy about the people that are doing it. Especially like someone like we're talking about development. Someone's just doing a phenomenal job. What do you guys think of the divisional tourney? I know, Sis, you weren't a part of it. Slender, you were, and Yannis, I don't think, were you even a part of it, Yannis?
The tourney,
And
right?
Yannis,
Where the
Yannis isn't
divisionals.
in a division, I don't think.
I kind of retired, man.
Yeah, I know. Slender, what was your opinion? Because I know you're kind of a part of it.
To be honest, I believe the only one I actually was in or have seen so far was the very first round of the division tournament.
The one where Zone got absolutely clapped by Phantom. The one that we don't talk about because we weren't ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so really, the only thing I can say is that since it was the very first one, we weren't really ready for what was coming.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was about to happen.
What were you gonna say, Yannis?
So.
Wait, so how badly did Cassie carry you guys?
Well, honestly, he didn't. I would have to look back at the scores, but he didn't. It was pretty bad for all of us. We literally got the team together 30 minutes before the event happened because I asked someone to be in charge of it because I was out on an activity that week for personal reasons, and they didn't do it. So I ended up having to hop on and literally just get a team together right before it happened. So.
Oh my goodness, that's so
sad.
sad.
I think that was I personally think that was one of the reasons that Zone was, I should say, demolished so hard, was because it was such a rush at the last minute to get people together.
Yeah, exactly.
And as far as I know, there wasn't any practice whatsoever.
No.
Nobody got together and said, "Hey, let's do a few practice runs to make sure that we're ready," or anything.
Because basically, yeah. I mean, it was like Zone, just a handful of people from Zone against like the Phantom Scrim team or something, I believe is who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did not go well at all.
Oh yeah, so what do you guys think about them pairing up RG with IS?
I haven't heard about that actually.
What do you mean pairing up IAG with IS or RG with IS?
Like I mean, like RG, I'd say, the better at combat. To be honest, not trying to offend any IS.
He means the tournament.
Yeah, for the tournament.
Oh,
paired up,
I completely misunderstood that.
IS and
Yeah.
RG.
I was like, wait a second, this is news to me, buddy.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
I think matchups were pretty even. I can pull up the actual matchups that were used. I do personally think they were pretty even for once. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that in the previous times that we've had a division tourney, it's just not ended well for anyone. So yeah, so first match was Phantom versus Zone. Phantom won. Second match, Helix versus PK. I don't really remember how that one went, but I think that's a pretty good matchup. Same for Nova versus King, and then IS versus RG. All in all, I think they were pretty fair.
I mean, PK won, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought PK won their match with Helix.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not that surprised, but it is a bit surprising in a way.
What is?
Helix is more of a healing division.
Yeah, but they focus a lot on combat too, so.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that Helix doesn't have good combatants, because they certainly do.
That's not what I'm saying.
They have and they do.
Yeah, I'm just saying that PK probably focuses a touch more on it than Helix.
Well, PK is a more combat-oriented division per se than Helix is, because as you did mention, Helix is is supposed to be more of a support-oriented division, but they do, like as I stated, have good combatants,
Mhm.
which a healing division certainly should, because you shouldn't just look for people who can heal and that's it. You know,
Yeah.
your people should be able to fight on their own too, in case there's nobody around, which they certainly are capable of.
If you do compare both of their entrance programs, Helix has a combat thingy, and I'm pretty sure PK doesn't.
Uh-huh. And okay, so the people that ended up winning the whole tournament was King. King beat Phantom. So Phantom going to finals. King beat Phantom 2-1 after 2 hours. It was a 2-hour match.
Oh,
Round.
damn.
2-hour round, dude. When I mean that's insane. That's wow. Good. Okay, if you're listening, if you're in King or in Phantom, props to you guys. That's really good. So yeah, so King won, Phantom got second. I don't remember what the other thing was. The other crap, what's it called?
Holy snap.
Okay, Rogar got third, PK got fourth, which means Helix got fifth, and we got sixth. Zone got six. That's well, no, Zone and Helix would be on the same page then, because we didn't do a match against each other. Yeah, it was interesting. I think it was If we had more preparation next time, I think it'll go better. And that's not the people that planned it. That's my own fault. For not making sure that it was actually getting dealt with when the person said it was going to be dealt with. So yeah, but I'm happy we had it, and I think it was just something to bring the community back together. I think everyone's been so inactive, and just it was nice. What do you guys think?
It was actually fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch any of it. I was too busy with work and everything, but I mean, for the most part, I thought it was at least pretty interesting to hear about, to see what divisions would come out on top. And like you said, with King and Phantom having that long 2-hour match, that's the longest. That's one of the longest I've ever heard of.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next one. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one and the swords one. I find swords interesting. It's like we're mainly guns.
They had a sword. I don't know who won first place for the sword. So for those of you that don't know, the first weekend was guns, and then the second weekend was swords. Swords. Let me check. I have it pulled up. I'm prepared. I swear. King was third. RG fourth. Okay, so first place was Phantom. Second was Helix. And then King, then RG, and then I don't remember what the rest were. So yeah, so Phantom was Phantom. Wait, what? Phantom was first. Helix was second. What?
Oh damn.
Phantom was first. Helix was second. King was third. There you go. Sorry, remember what I said the first time. So that makes sense. Helix has always been pretty decent with swords, and Phantom just is prepared at all times. That's all I can say about that. Okay, so moving on a little bit from Roblox and online world, I guess. What do you guys think of like current world events? So I know, at least in the US, some places have decided to go back into. I mean, Australia decided to go back into lockdown. Some places have decided to require masks again. Other places have just not done anything, and there's been talk about like a new COVID strand. What's your opinion?
Well, to talk about the new COVID strain, I bet.
Strand, same
It's
thing.
known as a Delta strain, and supposedly it's much more infectious than previous strains. And I believe it originated somewhere in Europe. I think it was in the UK or France, and I'm not exactly sure if it's made its way to the US. I think it might have, but because of that, some counties and states are starting to ramp their COVID regulations back up. As far as where I live, regulations have kind of been at a standstill. They haven't really moved anywhere since they started going down.
Yeah.
But for the most part, and actually, another thing too is one thing that's keeping this whole pandemic where it is the fact that a lot of people aren't wearing masks. They think it's fake. They think it's some government conspiracy. And those people are keeping the virus going because they're not properly protecting themselves and other people against it.
Yeah, that's what's your opinion?
Uh, I mean, mine is pretty much in the stalemate. Nothing really happening. I guess it's going all right.
I don't
long
really.
as
Yeah.
as long as nothing too bad happens, I'm fine with it.
You say that in such a calm way. Slender, you haven't talked that much lately. What's your opinion? I know you and I, Slender, have more similar views than Sis and Yannis do. What's your opinion?
Well, for me, where I live, it's the COVID regulations have basically gone away. There's still signs here and there, you gotta wear a mask and stuff like that, but none of it's being enforced or anything. The majority of the government or governors and whatnot have lifted mask regulations for like my region and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say
And
basically the same here. And no one that I know of really has been sick. So I don't know. I guess it also depends on where you live. I know some places get hit harder than others, especially like bigger towns or bigger cities.
I'd say a lot of the people who I talk to in real life and stuff like that have probably, or actually I say probably have been vaccinated and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I think numbers are probably lower in my area, but I don't check that stuff regularly, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Okay.
But as Sis said, they probably will be going back up very soon because it's not done. It's not gone completely,
Yeah.
and people are still just sitting around refusing and just being stubborn, having their own crazy beliefs, and just
Okay.
not wearing masks.
Yeah. Now, okay. Moving a little bit from COVID, because we've talked about COVID a lot in previous episodes. Did you guys know? Okay, I don't think this is very public information. I don't know of anyone that's talked about it. But did you guys know that there was actually a typhoon in China in the past like week or so?
No, I haven't seen anything in the news about it. I'm actually surprised. I would have
Yeah.
thought I'd hear
No,
something.
I have some friends that live over there, and they were telling me that it's actually pretty bad. Like one of them's a school teacher, and actually she was told to not to go to work that day because of the fact that all the windows at the school were basically shattered from the typhoon, and just yeah. So to me that was a surprise because like you said, I didn't hear anything about it in the news. It's been very hush hush, I guess. But yeah, they had a typhoon over in China, which I mean I know they have stuff from time to time. I mean they had a tsunami a few years ago. I want to say right. How do you remember how long ago it was?
I
No, I'm not
believe
sure.
their last typhoon was around 2019 or ish or so.
Typhoon or tsunami? Because I'm talking about both.
Well, they've been having a few typhoons lately, as far as
Yeah,
I know. But
yeah.
I don't know anything about their last tsunami.
Okay. Yeah, so they had a typhoon, which I want to know if you guys knew anything about it. I personally don't.
Surprised.
My friend that lives in China right now has just kind of been off the grid because of the fact that it was a whole typhoon, just a bunch of extra work that has to go in from volunteer people and all that kind of thing. So
Well, actually, I want to talk about something else that I actually just found out. The Tokyo Olympic Games are set to start officially in 2 days, and actually, there's a softball game right now between Italy and the United States, and the United States is winning 2-0.
2 days from when? From Wednesday or from Tuesday?
It is from. It's going to be from Friday.
It's gonna be on Friday. Yeah, that's what.
The Olympics are officially going to
Yes.
start Friday, but there is an event today. There's going to be another one early in the morning.
That's
today.
weird.
Yeah, they're starting some events early, but officially it's set to start in 2 days.
Actually, I'm partially helping volunteer at a party for the Olympics, so some places that don't have COVID restrictions or very minimal COVID restrictions, like where Slender and I live. We don't live in the same place, but around the area of the U.S. that we live in, actually throwing a party, which it might be weird to some people that are still in lockdown. I don't know, but yeah, it's allowed here, surprisingly enough.
I think where I live, as far as I know, there's still restrictions on gatherings, but it's like 100 people or something now.
Okay.
I don't know.
What do you guys think of like tech wise? So Tokyo is known for having like huge like technological like LED displays. Some people were talking about drones this year. Could you imagine drones at the Olympics? That'd be sick.
Oh, that's sick.
I heard talk of
That'd
some
be
drones.
crazy.
I've heard talk of certain celebrities playing. I've heard talk of huge LED screens. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Even like with COVID, I'm really looking forward to like watching the playoffs, or at least the beginning, because those are always fun. And yeah, they always make a big deal out of it, which is great. And just overall, especially with being in Tokyo this year, I feel like they're gonna try and go over the top, and just I'm looking forward to that.
Probably
Definitely
gonna-
looking forward to the Olympics. It's been, I mean, this has been delayed like a whole year because of COVID.
Okay, now
It's exciting.
on the more competitive side of that, what teams are you guys rooting for? I think all of you guys live in America, right?
USA, baby,
Yeah,
all the way.
basically.
Yep.
Okay, and are you rooting for you at Team USA, or is there some other
I'm rooting
team in
for
your
Team
heritage?
USA.
Team USA, Thunder.
Team Russia. No,
Okay,
no,
okay, you call me. I'm kidding. Okay, I'd say more either USA or France or Switzerland or Scotland. I don't know. I'm from too many places. Yannis, Team USA.
I'm natural. I don't really care.
Well, let's just say for the sake of the question, what team would you say that you want to see do well?
Would be
Just
funny
pick
if the
something, I don't
Japanese
care.
did good in their own homeland.
I think it'd be funny if like one of like the underdog like countries, like one that just never wins anything, just comes out on top and just beats everyone and everything this year. I think that'd be kind of
I
funny.
would like to see Chad to
That would
win.
be good.
Chad to win, bro. Hey, you won the gold medal. Oh, nice.
Oh, here's something interesting. Here's one of the events that's supposed to be going on in the Olympics. It's July 25th on Sunday, a basketball game between France and the United States.
Oh, that's gonna between France and the U.S. Bro,
Yeah.
wait, which U.S. team's playing? Just
I'm not sure if it. Let's see. They've got Nicholas Batum, Nando De Colo. Oh wait, no, that's France. My bad. Oh,
I was
the
gonna
United
say.
States has Kevin Durant, JaVale McGee, Drew Holiday, Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker. Yeah, they've got. I mean, the only one that I
Damn.
recognize there is Kevin Durant, but
Yeah.
but I mean, two of the guys on the U.S. teams don't even have profile pictures, so it's just.
That's okay. I did not expect that. I know they were talking about. Okay, do you guys know what King Ball is? Have you heard of the sport
No.
King Ball? You haven't
No.
heard of the sport King Ball? Okay,
No.
think of this big. You know those big yoga balls?
Yeah.
Oh,
Think of like a better version of that, and like four people per team, and imagine hitting it up to each other and like trying not to hit the ground. It's so much fun, and I heard talk that they were trying to bring it into the Olympics a few years ago. I don't know if they're gonna have it this year. I hope they do. It's such a fun sport. I'm being completely serious about this. It's like okay, it's kind of
I
cringy.
understand.
You've heard of it, right, Yanis?
It sounds.
I think
fun.
I played
sounds
it
like you're
before.
going
You have?
crazy.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's like so yeah. It's still cringy, but basically
Way
you
more
have
fun.
the teams. It's just teams of four, and you have like the team leader, and then you have three other people, and you basically have to prop up the ball, and team leader will go. Well, I played it in French, but basically call out we'll call out the team that he's sending it to, or she's sending it to, and then we'll say king, and then the ref will acknowledge it and say ball, and then at that point you yell king ball and just hit it as high as you can or as far as you can and try to make it hit the ground. It's just I don't know, it's a fun game. I know they were talking about adding it to the Olympics. I don't know if they have yet. That would be something I'd enjoy watching. That or handball. Do you guys know what handball is?
Yeah,
No.
I actually played handball.
Oh,
in
really?
school.
What position? I played it too.
Wait, and
Well, it wasn't more of an official team. We did it in gym quite a
Okay.
bit, but I do remember playing handball.
Handball is fun. I miss playing handball.
Yeah.
I know they're also talking about having handball added to the Olympic competitions. That's about it. I'm looking
Oh.
forward to the passing of the flame and just overall people being back together again after COVID and just being able to be competitive and have fun. I'm looking forward to people having fun. You know what? That's really what I'm looking forward to. It's been nearly 2 years. Oh, it's been a year now, a year and a half, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
And
something that I've seen, if I may, recently is that many Cuban Americans are actually calling on the U.S. government to intervene in the communist regime in Cuba because, for those who don't know, the regime in Cuba is still a communist dictatorship from all the way back from the 1960s. And even though Castro's not there anymore, it doesn't mean things have gotten better for them. And these people, and they want the US government to finally do something about that tyrannical government. I don't know. I don't know if you guys knew anything about the regime in Cuba, but I want to know your thoughts on all of that.
well, I mean, I knew about it. I didn't know that they were asking for help. Um, I mean, any dictatorship's
same goes
bad,
for me.
and is never a good thing. I mean, I feel bad for the people that live there. I'm thankful that some people are able to escape and come over here to America, but I don't know. It's just I understand that they want America to help. I don't know if it's our place to help. I think we could be of some aid, but I don't think we should be sending troops over to Cuba. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
not because like you said, a dictatorships shouldn't even exist in our time and in our time, but unfortunately they still do in many parts of the world. And like, we can't really do much in Cuba. It's as much as I would love to see the Cuban people be free from that dictatorship, there's not much we can really do.
yeah.
I mean, this isn't the Cold War anymore. We've relaxed our foreign policy quite a bit, and we can't just go in guns blazing wherever we want
Well,
now.
on the topic of that, what do you guys think of the U.S. pulling out all its military forces out in Afghanistan and all that by September?
As far as I
Mm,
know, the last major U.S. military base was recently evacuated in the last month. Um, so I think all troops, or almost all troops, have already pulled out. But I have noticed that the Taliban have actually began increasing their attacks against the Afghan
Yeah.
government ever since US troops have left.
And do you have any personal opinions on the whole thing? I know some
I
people were
mean,
really angry about it. Others were happy.
I used to be all for having troops over there to maintain stability, but now the way I see it, it's it's just how we should let them chart out their own course. I mean, but
Even if that
we've
means
been
that thousands of people die from it. I mean, I'm not trying to debate you. I'm just trying to be
oh
thought provoking.
I know, but thousands of people are dying all over the world in
Yeah.
places like China, for instance, with because they deny it, but there are concentration camps there holding people and forcing them to work,
I
but
mean,
we can't do
China's still
anything about it.
communist, so
And that's the thing.
well, socialist,
Um,
whatever.
Afghanistan is a democratic government. However, the Taliban are jihadists, they're terrorists who are trying to reinstate the rule that we deposed years ago. We've been in Afghanistan we were in Afghanistan for at least, 20, 30 years? I think it's about high time we got out.
Yeah. I mean, Afghanistan, like you said, it's a democracy, but it's a very corrupt one. I don't know
I mean,
why people
it,
have put up with it for so long.
I mean, I get that the US has been known as the world's policeman for decades, but we
Uh-huh.
can't be in charge of the world forever.
Oh yeah. Fortunately, but well,
Unfortunately, he says.
I'm kidding. Cool. And do you guys have anything
There
else you
you
want to add on? We can end the podcast here.
Nope.
I'm about to fall asleep, so I don't think.
Oh,
Yeah, we're all
one thing
tired.
one thing that's actually recently happened that I did want to touch on is that everybody knows Jeff Bezos by this point.
Yeah.
If you don't, then well, you live under a rock. But for those who do, Jeff Bezos recently went to space and came back to Earth on a
Oh,
rocket.
really?
And
I was watching it on the TV today.
yeah,
actually.
it was. Yeah, he went on the rocket Mercury 13, or one of the women who went on the Mercury 13 training program to go to space in the 20th century, which never got to fly. And the ride that Jeff Bezos went on, it only took 11 minutes, but it was a supersonic rocket that just delivered the capsule into space, and it quickly came back down.
Dang, I see. I did
And
not know that. That's actually really cool.
And
Pretty
of course, for anybody who's been following recent developments in spaceflight, their companies are starting to open up commercial space flights, meaning that, granted, it's mostly that people who have money, but more and more people are able to go to space. Which, I mean, personally, I wouldn't because I'm terrified of heights. But you know, for those
that's
who aren't,
understandable, man.
for those who aren't, I mean, it would surely be something to put on your bucket list. That's for sure. That's for certain.
Yeah.
It
I
would
just,
be fun,
see,
though.
space is something I've always wanted to like go to. I'm so happy that things are getting so much easier to, I don't know, get to, if that makes sense. Like traveling, rockets are getting cheaper and cheaper to make. Training is getting easier and easier. There's just so many like steps that have just been so much easier, and I'm looking forward to it. Always want to go to space. Hopefully, will. That's why do you think I'm being a fighter pilot? That's what I want to do.
That's cool, man.
Oh, okay. I think I'm going to end this here. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been interesting. This has been a little bit slower than usual, but we're getting back into it, and we will start posting more with more people to talk about stuff, more topics, more guests. Next episode might have somewhat unknown, and if it does, we will have him talk for quite a bit about his new gun system, his plans for TR, where he envisions it going, and all that good stuff. I'm not going to shout out the Patreon, but those of you that know and get care, you guys know what it is. And yeah, this has been CRD podcast episode 16. No, 17. What am I talking about? Did I say 16 the first time? I better not have said 16 the first time. This has been podcast 17. Okay. This has been podcast 17. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm hungry. This is Sis,
See you guys.
Yannis,
Bye.
and Sunder.
See ya. Good night.
And we're out. Have a great night. And I don't know. See you next podcast. Yeah. See you next. And talk. Jeez. Why do I always mess up these outros? See you next podcast. Bye.
Bye.